Good morning on YouTube. Good morning, media. I am Drewize. This is Drewize Topics. Good morning to you. You can see I'm getting up. I got up at 4:12 a.m. in the morning to start my regimen as far as exercising and things like that. So I just got done eating, so I'm gonna let my food digest in my stomach for like 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna start my exercise regimen. As you can see, I still got my scarf on. That I tie my hair down, flatten it down, cause I got long hair, whatever. Okay, topic is I want to talk about, so people can understand the word great means, and the topic is a person that do great things. It does not mean that person is good. Yeah. Okay. Great. Great is like defined as someone exercising something and doing something, great, control or things like that. If you look it up on your phone or the dictionary, it will come up as something. You're like, I don't think it'll be defined as good. Now, I can say this, that people exercise in being great. That is Hitler, Pharaoh, and the people that enslaved blacks. It was great in that. Now Hitler, Hitler was great for what he was doing, but Hitler was not good. He was not good at all. He was persecuted and killing in prison the Jews or something like that. He was killing the Jews and all that stuff like that. Putting them in concentration camps and having them do this and that and killing them and things like that. So I think I heard he used to put them in the furnace or something like that. Hitler was a wicked man. Hitler was wicked. He was evil, and he was great at what he was doing. He was great. So great is not defined as good. Pharaoh. Pharaoh was great. How he enslaved the Hebrews and put a hard task on them. And Pharaoh was so great, and he got afraid of, fearful of the Hebrew growth. It was growing, it was multiplying and things like that. And Pharaoh said, I must do something about this, because they're growing, they're expanding and stuff like that. So what Pharaoh do? He ordered the midwives to kill the male child, throw him in the river or whatever. Pharaoh was great, and Pharaoh thought he was a god, a god on earth, but not realizing that Pharaoh, reason how he got that so much power, that Jehovah allowed him to get that rulership and power. So Pharaoh did not claim that at all, did not announce that. Pharaoh was arrogant of himself, and he was great. But Pharaoh, he was wicked, and Pharaoh was evil, So how Pharaoh was evil when he threw male children in the river. That is evil. You know what I'm saying? Wicked, Okay, who else? The people that enslaved blacks. When the people was European Caucasian people, when they went to Africa and took us from our homeland and things like that and brought us over here. Before we got over here, there were people that were named Native Americans. They used to roam all over this entire country of the United States of America. This country belongs to the Native Americans, So the people that was in the slave trade and stuff like that, they was great, but they had a wicked agenda and the evil agenda, far as putting people of color enslaved like that. You know, blacks was not designed to be a citizen of the United States of America, but only sole purpose was to be of is labor. That's it, working and slaves and stuff like that. You know, so the people that was in the slave trade, you know, I'm hearing that some of the Jews had something to do with the slave trade, whatever. You know, slavery or something. You know, slavery us blacks and stuff like that. You know, they was great at what they was doing. Wicked, evil, of course, but it was great, you know. So before we touched down this land, you know, like I said, the Native Americans was here, you know. We got some of us blacks was helping some of the Caucasians catch us and round us up, you know. Those was called Uncle Toms and stuff like that. It was help the Caucasian Europeans help catch us, round us up and things like that, you know. So we was in our tribe, you know what I'm saying, worshiping our God and talking in our language and doing what we had to do, native to us, you know. When we got to this country, this is not our home country to blacks. This is a country that is strange to blacks, you know. Strange country. It's a strange country, you know. So yeah, great is not defined as good. Great is not defined as a person doing good things. No, you know, no, it does not. It don't mean that, you know what I'm saying? You could be wicked, so wicked, you know, and evil in your heart and have evil thoughts and evil agenda, and you could be great at that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Hitler, he was great, you know. Pharaoh, he was great, you know. The people that was in the slave trade and stuff like that, the slave masters and things like that, the slave master plantation, they was great, you know. So come on. Great is not defined as good. When a person do great things, it doesn't mean they are good. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about that in a topic, you know. So some people know what the word great means. And some people think great is good. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? No, it's not. Okay, yeah. Drewize Topics. You know, I am Drewize. You can post a comment about what I just said if you like to. You know what I'm saying? Your honest opinion, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to challenge your opinion. You know, you're entitled to your opinion just like I'm entitled to mine. You know? Like, share, subscribe. I am Drewize. This is Drewize Topics. Peace.